Good afternoon everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all well. It's match day and you join me next to Whitney Bay Promenade. Spanish City's just up there, as you can see right behind us. There's the North Sea, there's a Spanish City. Yeah, just come down the coast. I'm recording this afternoon, so I'm going to get this uploaded quickly because I'm aware kick-off's at 8 o'clock tonight. But I've been doing overtime today because I've got a lot on in March, so I just want some extra coin on my February wage, so that's why I'm just recording this now. And we spent a fortune, me and my mates, in December, so we promised each other we wouldn't commit to any away games, so I'd love to be there tonight. I've been to Anfield before, but yeah, not tonight, so I'm just watching it with a few mates tonight. We're looking forward to that. But yeah, we're going to a ground where we've got an abysmal record. The stats don't read too well, do they? Last time we were at Anfield was the 16th of April 1994. Rob Lee and Andy Cole were the goals after an impressive 3-0 win earlier in the season when Andy Cole scored a hat-trick at St James's Park. It was freezing that night. I remember that well. But yeah, when we last won at Anfield, in the league that is, because obviously Steve Watson scored a winner and a 1-0 win in the League Cup in November 1995, I believe it was. Yeah, it's been 27 visits, 5 draws and 22 defeats since then, and I was 6.5-year-old. I'm 38 now, 39 this September, so yeah, it's been a long time. It's been long overdue, but you know what? I'm hopeful tonight. Because look how we played against PSG in the week. Look, I know we started off a little shakily. Everyone was shocked by Eddie Howe's system in that he played 5-4-1 out of possession and 3-4-3 in it. But you know what, he made a few tactical tweaks and it worked to aplomb. Yes, it was probably 50-50 at the end of the first half against PSG, but that second half we were the better team. We just soaked up the pressure and then just hit them on the break, and we could have arguably won it, especially Harvey Barnes' chance where he was stretching at the end. But you know what, I know we didn't get the top 8, but like I said in my last video, the playoffs was the minimum target, so I am absolutely delighted. And we've got Karabag. Yeah, I know it's nearly a 5,000-mile journey. It's not. It won't be anywhere near my point, so I won't be going. But you know what? I know it's a longer trip, but the players travel in first-class luxury these days, private jets. So it's not going to bother them, really, is it? I know Monaco's closer, south of France, French Riviera, all that, but it's the easier of the two ties. I know Monaco aren't in that much form this season, but look, Karabag's what we wanted. Then the routes to the final could open up a little bit, couldn't it? We've got either Chelsea or Barcelona. It needs to be another draw, I believe. It's not just the winner of that. I believe a draw needs to be made to determine who will play once these knockout playoff rounds are done. But then the route to the final looks like it could be Spurs and then Arsenal. But also it could be like Bayern Munich and Barca in amongst like Barca the last 16 and maybe Bayern in the semi. So it could be an easier route or it could be a harder route. But if it's Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal, then it's like a League Cup run, isn't it? Because we've played them at various points en route in the League Cup campaign since Eddie Howe come in. But yeah, tonight, look, I don't think it's an impossible task because look at what's happened to Liverpool recently. I'm shocked at this, but I've won a league game in January. That surprised me a lot. No league win this month. I know they won in midweek, but that's our opponents in the knockout playoff round, isn't it? Karabag, they beat them 6-0. But it's not a happy camp. I've seen the post this morning where tactics and effort have been questioned to honour slot by Virgil van Dijk and Curtis Jones. And Liverpool have a lot of weaknesses. One, the struggle with low blocks. We're all familiar with that, aren't we? Newcastle United struggle with them a lot. But you know what? I'm confident about that because Liverpool are the home team tonight. The emphasis on them with their fans. They'll want them to attack, not sit back. Can't do that at Anfield. It's not the Anfield way. So I think we should just go with the same formation. But they also struggle with physical teams. We've got that in abundance, especially in defence with Dan Burn being back. He was a colossus on Wednesday night. Excellent. What a player. By the way, watch Big Dan Burn's big quiz. It's an absolute howl yet again with Tino Livramento and Lewis Hall on YouTube. And then we've got Sven Botman and Malik Chow. And the struggle with long throws as well. And second balls. So that's why I'd go with the same formation tonight. Because we can sit in like we've done against PSG. We can frustrate them. I think it would work, honestly. And what team would I choose? I'm going to name the team already. Formation would be exactly the same. 5-4-1 out of possession. 3-4-3 in it. And there'll be a few shocks in here. Don't be surprised at this. But remember, it's an opinion-based channel. So this will widely differ from probably who'll play tonight. But I'd play Nick Pope, and then it would be Malik Chow, Sven Botman and Dan Burn. On the right would be Lewis Miley again, Lewis Hall on the left. Now the midfield too, I think Tonali will be one of the midfielders, and then the other midfield pairing will all depend on Bruno's fitness. If Bruno's fully fit, which we don't know, I don't even know if he's travelled, but the fact he travelled to Paris gives us some encouragement. But look, if Bruno's fit, it'll be him over Jacob Ramsey. Now I know that's harsh, because Jacob Ramsey had his best game for us since signing in midweek, along with Joe Willock as well, but I'd drop the two of them. And look, I know Joe Willock is a player who is better on transition, that he has space to run into. He's not good in a possession-based build-up, but I know we'll play, like if I'm saying play the same formation like we did at PSG, soak it up and hit them on the break with lots of pace, and Joe Willock might suit that. But look, I expect it to be with first choice wingers tonight. So midfield two, if Bruno's fit, it will be him and Tonali, and that's solely because I don't need to give you any reasons. Bruno or Ramsey. Bruno starts because it's Bruno. The front three would be Wissa for pace. Voldemort, he was in and out on Wednesday, but I think, like, in terms of his game, I know he might drop deep, but even if he's got runners around him holding it up against the physicality of Virgil van Dijk and Konate, I don't think he'd do too well against those two. So I'd play Wissa for his pace. I think we've got our bags of pace against them, especially if, like I say, we're doing the 3-4-3 when we're attacking. We can soak it up and then hit them. And then it would be Gordon on the left and Barnes on the right, because they are our first choice wingers, as I've just said before there. But Liverpool as well, their massive weakness tonight, as well as them struggling with low blocks, where I think we should crowd them out. And long throws, Dan Burns looks like he's a designated long throw taker in dealing with second balls. And we've got all the bodies in defence, but then in attack and from corners, which they've got better at. But long throws, you can get all the big men up, or from free kicks. But their big issue tonight is right back. They're missing Leone, they're missing Bradley, they're missing Gomez, and they're missing Frimpong. So with those four being out, especially Frimpong getting injured in midweek, who they're going to play there? Dominic Szoboszlai. And you know what, he's someone I really rate. Dominic Szoboszlai is a quality player. I really wanted us to sign him when we were linked with him a while ago, but if he's at right back tonight, that takes a massive bit of quality away from their midfield. And I think that's where it'd be key if Bruno's fit alongside Tonali. We could dominate that midfield, because Liverpool's midfield does have quality in there. Obviously, McAllister, I do think he is a good player too, in Gravenberg. But if Szoboszlai's having to be deployed at right back, then that's a massive plus point for us. But yeah, it's not a happy camp. They haven't won a league game in January. And I think we could go there and really get something tonight. Look, I know we've said this lots of times before, and it's been nearly 32 years since we've won there, but it's got to end at some point. Anthony Gordon's got to turn up against Liverpool at some point, because what's happened before, he's been sent off twice, and then it's against Merseyside clubs. We'll play Everton at the end of the month at home. Look, on the last game of last season, we lost 1-0 to Everton, and we thought we didn't have Champions League, but thanks to Villa against Man U, we got Champions League football, but then he missed a penalty at Goodison Park as well. So yeah, Anthony Gordon's due a performance against his boyhood club. But yeah, I'd play him tonight. Whoever's in at right back, whether it's Szoboszlai, he's done well there for them, but it'll take a lot away from midfield, so we can get joy there. But I just think hit them with pace. And if we can get Lewis Hall, especially on that side with Gordon, then we can create overloads, double up on them. So I think there's a lot of joy to be had tonight. But what am I going with? Well, if it's with me head, I'll say 1-1. I'm going to start walking now. Hang on. It is freezing cold now. It looks like the fog's coming in down that way. But yeah, look at that. Sunshine today. That's a first. We haven't had sunshine properly in about 3-4 weeks. I'm going with me head, I'd say 1-1. But if I'm going with me heart, I'm going to say a 2-1 win. You know what, like I've just said there, it's got to end at some point, so why can't we get a 2-1 win there tonight? I'm just going for it. And I've got Liverpool supporting mates, and I've watched a couple of their podcasts as well this week, but they've all agreed on the same thing. As I've said, their weaknesses are second balls from long throws, physicality and low block. So if we're in a low block tonight, we've got the other two, with Dan Burn back being on long throws. So I think we should just go for it tonight. No fear. I honestly believe Anfield doesn't have the fear factor like it used to. So go there. And look, as I've said, it's an opinion-based channel. I could stand here and say we're going to get hammered and then we could surprise everyone. I can say right now we'll either get a point or go with me heart to win, and Liverpool could beat we. Yeah, I don't know what will happen tonight, none of it do. It depends which Newcastle turns up. Will it be the one that was so poor against Wolves, the one that was poor against Aston Villa, or the ones who have been so good this season against Man City at home, or Spurs in the Cup, or the one that went to Paris midweek? We just don't know. So yeah, we'll see what happens tonight, but it's going to be an interesting game. And yeah, honestly, I believe this. I honestly think we can get something tonight. I don't think there's a fear factor there with Anfield anymore. And if we start well, their fans will be very anxious, because they have been of late. And look, all three promoted teams have went there this season and they haven't lost. But I know sometimes you see Newcastle turn up and they're just the antidote you need when you're in a bad run. But you know what? Let's back the lads tonight. I honestly think we can go to Anfield and get a result, and then we'll go on to just a harder game on Wednesday night away to Man City. Our League Cup hopes over. I don't think we'll overturn it, despite how positive I normally am. But I acknowledge it's still a solid game, and Etihad record's dreadful. But like Anfield record's dreadful, results have to change at some point. Our record at Man U used to be bad, and I know we lost there on Boxing Day when I was there, but why can't we go there tonight and win? Come on. I'm just gonna be too excited. I'm gonna go with it. I'm going with my head. Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 2. And I think Anthony Gordon will finally get a goal against Liverpool instead of a red card. And then the other goal scorer I'm gonna back is Yohan Wissa. And my next away day, I forgot to mention this, it's going to be Villa Park. Now, I know that's Valentine's Day. There'll be a lot of men out there grovelling, saying, can I go to an FA Cup game rather than taking you out for a meal? But all our lasses were like, oh, just go. We're just going to do stuff on another day, because that day is just commercialised and everywhere will be rammed. So yeah, we're going to go there on Valentine's Day and hope Newcastle United serve up a romantic treat of getting to the 5th round of the FA Cup. But I'm going to go for now. There's the beautiful Spanish city in the background, get to me mates, and let's hope Newcastle United win tonight. But as I said, I'm going to go with my heart tonight and actually back Newcastle United to finally win at Anfield for the first time in nearly 32 years. So Liverpool 1, Newcastle United 2. But that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and the most important thing, which I forgot to do in recent videos, please hype. It'll really help the channel grow. Take care everyone, enjoy the game tonight. How are the lads?